Now, note that I am not your lawyer, and this is not legal advice, but it's important to understand your rights generally, especially in these trying times. Because the reality is that the law is different when you're in airport customs, dealing with ICE, TSA, border security. It just is. This is not, at least at the outset, a criminal arrest and detention in the traditional sense where you have your Fourth and Fifth Amendment rights to remain silent and have a lawyer and not be searched, etc. It's not exactly, at least. So here's what you need to know if you're a US citizen. At the airport, law enforcement does have the right to ask you for your documents, ask you for your immigration or citizenship status, and search your belongings for contraband. They do not need probable cause. If you are a citizen, you only need to answer questions about your identity and your citizenship status, and you should never lie about that. It is also not in your best interest to refuse to answer the basic routine questions about the nature of your travels, for example. They cannot deny you entry for failure to answer questions beyond your identity and citizenship status, but refusing to answer those additional questions will definitely delay your entry and be a pain in the ass for everyone. So yes, tell them your identity, your citizenship status, and the nature of your travels. If you're genuinely concerned about whether to answer that last one, you should definitely talk to an immigration lawyer. Beyond that, they cannot target you for additional questioning or deny you entry to the country if you're a US citizen based on your religion, race, national origin, gender, ethnicity, or political beliefs. Unfortunately, proving in court that you were targeted for your race or national origin or ethnicity or political beliefs is notoriously difficult, and it is incredibly easy for law enforcement to claim some plausible deniability and reasonable pretext for why you were stopped, which is why someone with a name like Hassan Piker, who's spent a lot of time in Turkey, has spent his life getting routinely stopped by TSA, whereas someone with a last name like Miller, who's a white lady, me, generally has no problem. And there's no actionable legal case Hassan could bring and actually prove he's been targeted over the years. Until now, I'm not in a position to opine on whether he could, sue ICE for this line of questioning. I'd imagine he'd probably struggle to find someone to represent him with that case, but based on his telling of events, the questions were very pointedly about his political beliefs. That being said, as I always say, national security concerns are a very strong argument in court. So because they were questioning him about Hamas and other groups deemed terrorist organizations, they would have a strong argument to a certain extent that they were just doing routine questions for security concerns related to terrorist groups. Especially since 9/11, that's a pretty persuasive argument in court.